So I have one more note to add before I stop talking about what I want this YouTube channel to be and just start making it so. But I've had something else move in me that since I've spoken about what I want this channel to be already, I feel like I should add. When Andrea Gibson passed away last week, I felt it so strongly. And in a way, that's not a surprise because they are such a luminous soul. And I feel that very much. But the amount I was crying over their death was more than I've ever cried for someone who I didn't know. And at one point, I realized that I thought a piece of this was moving me towards the question of if I was meant to write more poetry. Something that really I've only done a few times in my life, little pockets here and there, in particular circumstances, um, which I won't dive into, but in a way it feels like such an obvious thing because I'm obsessed with poetry. But I've always felt like prose is where I'm called to share of myself mostly as a writer. And so this moment, I was sitting out here in this grass and crying, and it felt like maybe this was a note that I was meant to write more poetry actually, and write more spoken word poetry, where the intent as I'm writing is writing something meant to be shared with voice and presence beyond the page. And so my heart felt the alignment there, and I'm going to share more of the poetry I've already written and also write a lot more and bring it forward into this space. So I'm really excited to do that, and maybe I'll record one tonight. But first, I wanted to just add this as a little footnote, huge footnote to what I said before. And it feels like a really large piece of things. So, um, as someone who feels life as poem and self as poem and reads poems and rarely creates written poems, there's a shift. I felt some sort of activation in my grief over Andrea, and it's a part of all of this. So that's all.